They see there's a little bit of the Mississippi Delta remaining south of Baton Rouge. It looks like Lake Charles, Beaumont. So the coastline would go south of Lafayette. And if you click on the next slide, it'll go to 3 meters, which is what it'll look like eventually.
Do you think that there's any way that it's realistic to build levees to protect New Orleans if we're looking at this kind of inundation within the next 100 years?
It's difficult. I mean, you're talking about 10 feet of sea level, so you have to have levees that handle that plus the storm surge.
How does that compare to the Netherlands?
I don't know. I don't think it's that. It's 10 feet.
You mean the Netherlands is more or less?
Less, I think. But I'm not 100% sure, so.
But of course, the Netherlands will change also.
Yeah. You know, what's clear here is that the Mississippi River isn't an issue anymore for New Orleans. They basically just seal it off, because otherwise the ocean would come flowing in. You know, the river's not going to be, it's going to be salt water. Even with a 1 meter sea level rise, the Mississippi River flowing through New Orleans is under the ocean. If you go back to the previous slide, which is, I think, what most of us think is going to happen sometime late in our lifetime to kids' lifetimes. You know, the Mississippi River, as it travels through New Orleans, is just about at sea level right there. It's not under sea level. There's a little bit of high land going down towards Tampa, a little bit down towards New Orleans, but that's it.
So they can build all the gambling casinos they want in New Orleans. It's not going to be too permanent.
No. You know, although they're building all those gambling casinos over in Mississippi, and there the coastline is got more of a slope to it.
So there we are. This is not a pretty picture. What I heard was that they found an ancient underground lake under Darfur specifically, not just the Sudan. What they're worried about is that rather than solving the problem, it may make it worse because the tribal rivalries will just become intensified.
Oh yeah, well now we have something more to fight over.
I think the figure is 80% of water right now for the Sudan in general comes from the Nile. But as you mentioned before, there are a number of places where the dams are intercepting the water and also those dams are leaking. Is it going to make a difference whether the country is wealthy or not under these circumstances?
Well, you know, I think that the conventional wisdom is that the richer the country, the easier it will be to adapt. I think there's some truth to that, but I also wonder whether that is really true.
I don't see how it can be true because so many different things are changing on so many different levels.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to a report this morning about the projected economic and military changes internationally in the next 50 years in terms of who's going to control what.
Mm-hmm.
With the projections of basically China and Russia battling over resources. Coming attractions, a localized regional resource war.
Yeah, and I think, you know, what history tells us is that as soon as we start to go after that lake, it won't last long. It's not a savior.
Oh,
Inevitably, these things buy us a little bit of time, and they also create a lot of conflict. That's